Hari Om. Today I am going to discuss Ahimsa, non-violence. It's a very important yama from Ashtanga Yoga. But not only it's mentioned in Ashtanga Yoga, but it's there in Hatha Yoga. It's also there in Bhagavad Gita, and it's also there in the yogic literature. Following non-violence is very, very important on the path of yoga. Path of violence takes you away from the spiritual dimension. It creates a lot of disturbance to our mind. The harmony is lost. The yogis have always recommended non-violence. When there is violence, there is aggression. When there is aggression, all the hormones in our body get disturbed. Aggression is nothing but stress reaction. So all the stress hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, they are secreted in our body. And there are a lot of studies that talk about the effect of this aggression on our health, which is very negative. So that's why being non-violent, following this principle in our day-to-day life is very important. The violence can be on physical level, a physical aggression, hitting someone, hurting someone. But non-violence is not only limited to this physical aggression, but it is also limited, it's also extends to our mind. In our mind, if I'm thinking aggressively about someone, that is still not right. That's still breaking the non-violence. Because even if I have a thought of aggression about someone, I still have the stress hormones and it disturbs me. Verbally also, if I say something aggressive to someone, it certainly affects my hormones. So non-violence principle is a very important principle if you want to walk on the serious sadhana of yoga, serious practices of yoga. If you want to go in that direction of spirituality, it's very relevant. But today I'm going to share some interesting stories that may make you understand the other side of non-violence. What is violence and what is non-violence? There is very unclear thinking about it, and we don't have a clear idea as to what we should call as violence and what should be called non-violence. I'm going to tell you a few stories. The first story today about this. There was a cobra. Once upon a time there was a cobra. And we all know cobra is very poisonous animal. And if the cobra bites, then people can die easily. The cobra has very deadly neurotoxin. And the neurotoxin just paralyzes the whole body, and the person who is bitten cannot even breathe. So there was a cobra once upon a time, and that cobra was very ferocious and very dangerous. The cobra used to live in a small hole just on the outskirts of a village. The cobra had bitten few people from that village and they were all dead. So the villagers were very scared of that cobra. And the fear was so intense that people stopped going in that direction. One day, some young kids were playing a little bit away from that place. They're playing with some ball. And while playing the game, the ball went close to that cobra hole. And the kids were very scared. They dare not go there. So they were crying. A yogi was passing at the same time through that village. And he saw these little kids crying. So he went up to them and asked them, "My dear children, why are you crying? Why are you so upset?" And one of the child, he replied, "Oh, Mr. Yogi, we were playing with the ball and our ball went in that direction and there's a big cobra." And he narrated the whole story, how many people were dead because of the cobra's bite. The yogi felt bad, but he gave comfort to the kids and he told them that, "Don't worry, I know the language of the cobras and I can speak with him and I'll get you your ball, don't you worry. You just stay here." The yogi went and he called the cobra in his language, and the cobra came out and he raised his hood. He said, "What do you want?" The yogi smiled and he said, "I don't want anything. I just came here to talk to you. And I appreciate how strong and powerful you are." The cobra felt good. He said, "Oh, someone is praising me. Good." And then the yogi continued. He said, "Look, you have bitten few people and they were dead. It's not a very good thing. When you bite someone and the person is dead, his family is left without support." The cobra felt little bad. He could understand what the yogi, the guru was talking about. And then after a little long discussion, the guru, the yogi, convinced the cobra that biting is a form of violence and it results in negativity. The cobra agreed and he said, "Oh, Guru, thank you for enlightening me on this. But then you have to help me now. You're showing me the path, so you have to help me." The Guru said, "Sure, I'll give you a mantra. Whenever next time you get angry, just chant the mantra and it will calm you down. And if you have any trouble, if you find yourself in any difficult situation, don't hesitate to chant the mantra and call me and I will come there to help you." The cobra felt great support in these words and he felt very happy that he has a guru now who can look after him. But the guru told him, "Look, but one thing is you have to promise, and that is you're not going to bite anyone." The cobra agreed and he said, "Oh master, I promise you and I'll keep my word. I assure you." The guru felt very good. He picked up the ball and he went back to the kids. The cobra was happy. He got the mantra and he got the assurance from the guru. The guru came back, he gave the ball to the kids and told them that, "Look, the cobra is not going to bite you anymore and he's become very kind and soft now." The kids wouldn't believe. So they started playing, they were happy because they got the ball back and they knew that even if the ball goes there, the cobra is not going to do anything. Again the ball went there. One of the kids went there carefully. He saw the cobra, but the cobra didn't do anything. So he picked up the ball and he was very happy that, "Oh, cobra is not doing anything." The news spread in the whole of the village that the cobra has become absolutely harmless and is not doing anything. Even if you go close. Next day, someone went there. They saw the cobra. And one of these persons, he just hit a little stone at the cobra just to check if the cobra is getting back at him or not. And interestingly, the cobra just kept quiet. Of course, the cobra was angry, but then he remembered his guru's message and he started chanting mantra because he didn't want to be violent. He wanted to follow non-violence. the news again spread that even if you hit a stone to the cobra, it doesn't do anything. So people started going from that path. And if the cobra is out, they would just hit stones at the cobra. And he was not reacting, he was non-violent. But slowly, he had a few more wounds, and some of the wounds had some infection. So the cobra became even more hurt and injured. And then one day he thought that he can't bear this pain, he may die. So he called his guru. He chanted the mantra and requested the guru, please come and help me. I am in difficult situation. The guru heard that. The guru came. When he saw the cobra, the guru felt very bad. He said, hey, how come this happened? The guru gave a very nice healing touch to the cobra. The cobra felt a little bit better. And then narrated the whole story as to how people took disadvantage of his commitment to non-violence. And then he complained to Guru. He said, look, Master, whatever you told me, I followed. But look what they did to me. The Guru smiled and said, my dear child, I told you not to bite, but I did not stop you from raising your hood and scaring them away if they are going to hurt you. This is an interesting message that this story gives. And that makes us thinking as to what is that thin line of violence and non-violence. I'll tell you another story. In the 12th century in India, in the northwest of India, in Rajasthan, the state of Rajasthan, there was a king. His name was Prithviraj Chauhan, a very powerful emperor. And he was known for his commitment to his word and values. From Afghanistan, there was an invader. His name was Muhammad Ghori. He attacked the kingdom of this Prithviraj Chauhan. But Prithviraj Chauhan defeated him. And he caught this Muhammad Ghori. But this Muhammad Ghori requested for forgiveness. And Prithviraj Chauhan had a big heart. And he essentially believed in these principles of non-violence. So he let this Muhammad Ghori go. It happened few times. Every time Muhammad Ghori was let off by Prithviraj Chauhan, until one time this Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. All the previous wars, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad Ghori. But this last time, when Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan, what did he do with Prithviraj Chauhan? He killed him. Lot of hardships, lot of torture, and he killed him. So then the non-violent act of Prithviraj Chauhan resulted in his own death. So it's very difficult to understand what is non-violence and what is violence. Now I'm talking about violence towards others. Now let's talk about violence towards myself. India fought a freedom struggle with British. And the great leader of India was Mahatma Gandhi. And he was a very devoted follower of non-violence and truth, the yamas. He himself followed yoga practices very sincerely. Now Mahatma Gandhi asked every volunteer to protest against the British in a non-violent way. But if you really look at this movement of non-violence, It was the volunteer used to expose himself or herself to the British, to the police. And then the police used to beat them up. Now this was a violence toward self. I know I'm going to be beaten up. So I go there and I expose myself to the violence. So should this be called as non-violence or a violence towards myself? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves when we understand, when we think about what is non-violence. So I can tell you that the principle of non-violence is very relevant when you submit yourself to serious practices of meditation, serious practices of yoga, commitment to yoga, and you retire from your life. You say maybe you go into the forest and then stay there. So there is no contact you have with the outside world. And you just remain in the forest just as a part of that ecology. Just trying to live your life with the minimum needs. So absolute non-violence is possible in that particular life, maybe a life of a monk who is living in forest. There is a very beautiful story of Buddha. Now I'll tell you the other side. What is the power of this non-violence? Buddha followed the principle of non-violence and he preached this principle of non-violence to people. With this absolute commitment to non-violence, Buddha changed himself. And then he changed his energy around. And that change in the surrounding energy was so powerful that the story of Angulimal, probably some of you have heard about this story. Once Buddha was going through a forest, and then there was a dreaded criminal, dacoit, bandit called Angulimal. So Anguli is the fingers. It means he was wearing a garland of fingers, and these fingers belonged to the people that he had killed. So he had killed hundreds of people, and then these fingers he used to chop off, and then he used to put a garland in his neck, around his neck. And he stopped Buddha. Buddha stopped. The man said, this Angulimal said, I'm going to kill you. Get ready. Buddha said, okay, no problem. I submit myself to you. You can kill me. Well, that made Angulimal think. And the energy he felt from Buddha was so beautiful that the idea of violence went away from the mind of that Angulimal. And he became disciple of Buddha. So the power of following non-violence is there. But in my practical life, the non-violence is a very tricky principle to understand. In my body, if I look at my body is killing millions of bacteria and viruses every moment. Because if my body doesn't kill them, then they'll kill me. So it's very difficult to understand what is violence and what is non-violence. So from the Ashtanga Yoga perspective and from Bhagavad Gita perspective, the idea of balance and harmony is important, and the non-violence is recommended for that harmony of our mind. So I'm not going to make any decisions. I'm just going to leave it to you to think more. Sometimes violence is necessary for non-violence. And sometimes the non-violence is must to experience the positivity. So I'm going to stop here. Hari Om.